Hey guys, welcome back. Robocraft Early Access coverage. This is episode 61. I'm Enigmaeus, and today, doing some match footage. We have to take a break from the build because it's been 3 episodes of just building for one, and some people prefer the match footage, so we got to throw out a bone. A little bit of diversity never hurt anyone, and also we're kind of broke. We're out of RP and we're out of blocks. So we're going to do some match footage in Pretty Hate Machine. Which will involve a little bit of lag from time to time, a lot of plasma, maybe some deaths, maybe some bots exploding, you never know. We're still, as far as I know, in the middle of the TX1 Farm 100 Kills event. We still see a number of bots that are floating around with TX1 SMGs mounted to them. I'm trying to do my best to kind of be a little bit respectful of what they're trying to accomplish and not, dive in on a kill last second when it's obvious that they'd already invested some effort into it, because realistically speaking, for the most part, going around playing matches, doing whatever, I'm not worried about kill stealing. It's not even something that's on my radar. If there's an enemy bot that's still moving around, whether it's got guns on it or not, it's a fair target. If I came into it late, boo-hoo. It's not like I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to take my chances that everyone here is actually going to be able to shoot this guy before he escapes. And potentially lose the match because we don't have time to cap and we can't find him again. That, you know what I mean? It's that kind of a thing. It's about winning. It's not about stealing things from people. And realistically speaking, I don't care if people accuse me of it. But for this event, understanding what people are trying to do, a little bit of empathy, a little bit of understanding. You see this ejection seat? This is what I'm talking about. This is a wee little feller. Got to be an asshole. But we got him. We got him in that case. See, if I had blasted him with the plasma, that one guy might not have been able to get that kill. So that's kind of the thing. It's just trying to be a good sport with these people. I'm not interested in the event. I don't need to go into any more detail on why we've already discussed that. But for the people who are trying to get it done, it certainly doesn't hurt to try and be a little bit understanding. So pretty straightforward match. That one, I've been getting that a lot lately. I'm having weird internet issues at the house. It's a problem when you share one house with 5 adults and each one of them has at least 2 devices that connect to a wireless network. It's, sometimes there's, 4 people torrenting and some guy uploading videos to YouTube and, streaming 4 different videos and all this other stuff. Also, I've heard the servers of the game have been having a little bit of difficulty. So, back to the match footage. This one's a little bit longer than the last one. This is one of those matches where I've decided that I don't want to put myself in the front lines. Pretty Hate Machine is actually, for its size and for its dimensions, it's a very resilient bot. I can take a really substantial amount of punishment relative to what you might expect. But when we're talking about playing intelligently, when we talk about making smart choices, understanding our bot, understanding our limitations, and then making those fit in a way that allow us to contribute, I'm not a frontline fighter, and if I try and be one, I usually end up knocked out of the match. So here I saw a railgun in behind. I'm trying to keep an eye out for him, get at least a spot on him if I could have, but I couldn't. There's a point where you can't really waste any more time looking for a guy that you can't see, because you either have to leave your position when you've got a good position, or you're just going to, be facing the wrong direction, not shooting anyone who matters. In this case, we've got this guy. He kind of hovers up above the ridge and he shoots until people look at him, and then he ducks in behind. I can't blame him. It's not a bad strategy, but he's not going to accomplish a whole lot doing that with an SMG. SMGs are not suited to that kind of playstyle. Realistically speaking, SMGs are suited to being able to fire continuously at a target. And if you can't do that, you lose out to the guy who can literally pop out from behind cover once every 7 seconds, unleash hell on you, and then duck to cover for the next 6. It's not... it's not that we don't like SMGs doing it, or that they shouldn't because it's not allowed. It's not the best use of the platform, I guess you could say. Now, this is kind of an odd match in that there's just stuff going on all over the place. We've got this guy flying around above us. We've got apparently a rail gunner off to our right. We've got these guys in front of us. We've got guys. There we go. There's the rail gunner. 2 shots. Duck. That's right. The first one, you say, okay, it's coming from that direction, and you start acting, and the second one hits you. The third one, if you get hit by it, bad position, or you didn't respond in time. You can see he's shooting at someone else now. At least we know where he is. This will be very important for determining the outcome of this match. But we basically had the enemy spread out all over the damn place. We're fighting on kind of like 3 different fronts at any point in time, and it's fortunate and not necessarily describable exactly how we managed to get this far with as many functioning bots as we still have, because usually when you spread out that thin, bad things happen, especially when you're allowing the enemy a position. They could have just stayed in this cave, and they would have been strong against 2 fronts and invulnerable to the 3rd, but they didn't, I guess, and that's kind of why they didn't survive. I guess we just got the shooters in this match. We just got the people who are doing the damage and surviving, and the enemy team wasn't quite so fortunate. So now, we have to kind of solve this issue of the railgunner up there. I've got a little bit of damage, so I just kind of fly over and keep going. Find the other guy that we missed. So now we know where the remaining 2 bots are. At this point, we can go after this guy that I'm kind of shooting at. He's playing stupid little games, and I don't know why. If he's serious about doing things to help his team win, instead of playing silly buggers around this corner, he should be heading towards our base to cap, because that's his only option to win at this point. He's not doing anyone any favors by being a twit running around the hill, and it's just going to get him killed, so whatever. And then we got the railgunner up there, and this is sort of the case of, I'm not going to try and get up there. I don't think we have any flyers that are going around that are going to be able to, get a shot off on this guy. We do have a railgunner down there. There's not much of him left. And I'm pretty sure he actually ends up self-destructing, which, it's actually kind of a sportsman-like thing to do when you know you can't fight anymore, you can't win the match for your team anymore. Just end it. Just, go back to the garage, get back and go get into another match. And then you can have a much better chance of earning RP and experience and tech points and all those other things. Don't sit there like a twit on the top of a hill waiting for them to cap out on you. It's just a thing. Someone's going to argue with me on that, I know. I just know it. This is, as usual, one of my preferred maps for anything other than a railgun, because we've got that section kind of off to the west side of the map right there on the right-hand side with the little glaciers sticking out. Kind of makes life difficult for a railgunner, but for anyone else who's got a little bit of mobility, and particularly that functions well on ice, this is kind of a fun map. Usually starts out either advancing to the center and keeping an eye on what's going there, or advancing to check the east flank for guys that are sneaking by there. Remember what I said? This side, not very good for railgunners. And what do we get? We get a railgunner. This guy is actually going to do a pretty decent job throughout the match of kind of hopping from glacier to glacier and getting a couple shots off at a time. It's debatable just how effective that will end up being in terms of his team's success. Now look at this guy that I'm shooting at. He just ate 5 railgun shots to the face before he finally figured out it might be a good idea to kind of hide behind cover. He was right there. All he had to do was reverse. And the second he started to reverse, there would be parts of his bot moving into cover, and he just sat there and he ate all to the face. Now we're getting flanked a bit. They've pushed all the way through, practically to our base. I'm not waiting to, receive my daily dose of punishment. I'm just pushing through until I can find some of our guys as far removed from the guy that was just shooting me as I possibly can, in the hopes that he'll forget about me. And, join up with some people that are going to keep the enemy occupied while I do what I can do. I just barely clipped that railgun. That was a very gratifying hit, even though it just hit an electroplate and didn't do any real damage. I was still quite happy with that. That was my game basically over right there. I could have retired at that point and been quite happy. So there's his 2 shots, duck. 2 shots, that's what you get. From now on, all you guys keeping score, you get 2 shots from a railgun. If you're not behind cover for the 3rd, you did it wrong. That's the standard as described by me, who has no business defining standards for anyone. So again, we're kind of pushing up to the front. We don't want to, come charging around the corner like we've done at least once in the past and find ourselves face to face with an enemy that nobody else on our team bothered to spot. But at the same time, we've now got an enemy bot capturing. They're about to get their 2nd segment, so they're halfway there. We've got a rail bot off to the left side somewhere. No one on our team has yet to really do anything about this guy capturing. You can tell they're moving towards it, but they're just taking their sweet damn time. There's no urgency to what they're doing. So We get an interrupt there. We're always happy to get an interrupt. There's the laser telling us that Mr. Railgun, our friend and pal, is he's got his eyes on the situation. So again, we're keeping that mountain on our right to our backside so that we're much less likely to get clipped by him unless he moves up. Now, we hadn't destroyed the guy at our base, but I saw enough of our bots that were kind of engaged with them that it was a good idea to leave him alone, and then I decided to come around this way. I was actually heading to the enemy base in case this guy wanted to just kind of hide. I didn't want to lose the match because he was hiding and we couldn't kill him, but it just so happened that he crossed the road at the wrong time, and I was able to score myself a pretty easy kill on the way out of that match, so that was not bad. Then we get into this match. It's one of the more interesting maps just for the sake of the diversity in the terrain. Like, huge, deep gullies and ravines and stuff all over the place. And then this central area has got these canopies over top that if you're careful, you can avoid most fire from, you know, bots that are up on the ledges and flyers. But there's still openings everywhere, and the flyers love to find bots that are just barely exposed in those openings and shoot down on them. I know because I've done it once or twice. It's very gratifying. But it's one of those maps, because of the terrain, there's so many corners for people to hide around. There's so many different ledges, different altitudes that people can be at, that it makes sense to proceed with caution, so to speak. And I decided that for this one, you know what? We don't do enough flanking. I don't normally think of Plasma as being the ideal flanking bot, unless I had another 200 CPU to throw on this one, but, you know, you get the idea. SMGs are the ones that are, you know, really intimidating people because they can put constant pressure. Plasma is more kind of, you shoot once, everyone knows you're there, and then you're just kind of looking at them for 6 seconds saying, what now? That's why I don't do it too much. But in this case, I decided I'd push around. Rule number 1 when flanking and trying to surprise the enemy, you don't touch their base on the way by. You steer wide, because if you do touch it, they get that little chirp that tells someone that, you know, you got a guy on your base. They know where you're coming from, and they're either going to all come back and defend their base, or they're at least going to be alerted to your presence. So in this case, we got a shot off on one guy. We got a little bit of attention that we didn't want. We're basically up here by ourselves at this point. You can see we've got lots of friendly bots still around, but none of them are really in a position to help us if we get in trouble, except for this guy now, pushing up. So we're kind of putting pressure on them from multiple directions. This is a really good situation to be in, because it doesn't matter what they're doing. You're going to have guys that can fire on them with impunity. So if you say, for example, you've got, you know, fire heading in their direction from 3 different points, 2 of those friendly bots shooting at the enemy don't have to worry about what the enemy's doing with their guns, because they can only shoot at one person, you know, at a time. So in this case, this guy's dead. Yeah, thanks for helping with the commentary there, Mr. Bot. It would have required a little more effort to describe. But dead covers it at that point. And we got this kind of guy, he's, I don't know what he's doing. He looks very strange. And this is going out to all the people out there who complain that flyers aren't strong enough. Flyers need wings buff. Flyers are too easy to knock out of the sky. This flyer is kicking my ass. I hit him with 1 full spread and another partial. I clipped him, plus the SMG that was shooting at him before he came this way. And now he's got the scent of blood. Right? I'm blood in the water, and he's thinking to himself, I'm on my way out of this match, but I'm taking this sumbitch with me. And I'm very grateful to the railgunner who kind of at least finally started going after him. As I was, you know, coming down this thing here, pretty much upside down and defenseless, I was looking as the screen would spin by at what teammates I had nearby that might be able to help. There was an SMG and there was a railgunner. The SMG, I guess, saw the bomber go out of range and gave up on him, but the railgunner kind of stuck around to lend a hand, and then we got the medic coming in here. I was very grateful, because there's nothing more infuriating than taking on that role. Kind of a bit of a risk, pays off, you get some damage that the enemy wasn't counting on, headed towards them, and then your whole team hangs you out to dry to something stupid like a bomber. For all of you kids out there complaining that it's too easy to knock flyers out of the sky, build better bots. That's what we do. That's what we do around here. I'm not telling you that's for all of us. Your solution is you're dying too fast, build better bots. That's it. Don't worry too much about whether or not your wings get shot off too early, because that guy sure as hell wasn't. This is a much shorter match. This is This is the why are they all shooting at me? And then you look up at the roster and you realize, because I'm the only one left. Not the best position to be in, especially when it's not a very long match. This is the balloons. 1 plasma hover and 9 balloons on this team is basically what we've got. And again, kind of coming down, I want to get myself in a position early where I have a reasonable view of what's going on. I can look up, I can look across, I can look all these different places until the match starts to take shape. And then I'm in a position to move pretty much up any lane that I want to respond to whatever happens to be going on. So, in this case, not really a very useful spot to be in down here in the middle. There's not a whole lot happening, but I can hear and see that there's something going on over there. So I'll advance. We're kind of a little bit squirrely. I'm trying to turn but not overturn because it's narrow and not doing a very good job. And we come up here, and this guy hadn't even been spotted yet. So we'll do something to get his attention. We're not sure that that was the smartest thing you could have done, but that's what we did. And from here, it just basically goes to shit, and I don't exactly know why. So I'll let you watch and see exactly what happens. Next video, we're going to be continuing the build on the Panther B. We're going to be mostly done, I hope. Or at least the end will be in sight. And then we'll either be doing match footage to grind levels in RP to finish it, or we'll be finishing it and doing match footage with Panther B. One of the two. So we got lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff to keep us busy for the next foreseeable while. If you want to be notified when I add those videos, you can always subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media for notifications as well. Links for that are always in the information section below the video. Please leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.